Hi, thank you for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host. Just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona. And hopefully today with our picks and your picks, it's going to be another profitable day for you. Thursday, February 29th. Happy Leap Day to everybody out there. Getting that extra day for the year, an extra day to wager on sports is always a good day. So there's never a day that goes by that we're not. So might as well enjoy the Leap Day as well. There's a ton of basketball to get into as we get into college basketball and the NBA. I will give everybody a reminder at the end of every show that we do, in the comments section, you will see a link to our Google Sheet. It'll read docs.google.spreadsheet. Just click onto that. That'll get you a link into our sheet. You'll be able to view all of our bets. This is our ledger, so you'll be able to see all of our bets. What juice we got those at, how many units, what book we placed them at, and then obviously the result once the games are over. So you'll be able to check all that out. I recommend doing that. If you don't have time to watch the show, you can check out the Google Sheets by clicking into that link on there. So make sure you do that. You'll be able to see everything that we're doing. We are volume better. So there's a lot of bets. We're going to lose a lot of bets. We're going to win a lot of bets. The key is what we look at daily is where we're at plus for the season. So like for basketball so far this season, we're over 6,000 units to the positive. Your units depending upon what kind of, what you denominate it at. But it's been a great season. So we're going to continue to ride here. Had a little bit of a rough day yesterday. We had a monster day the day before. So took a little bit of those monster day winnings, but still majorly positive, and over 6,000 units is definitely a way to go. So we'll get started with college basketball today. The first game up for us is going to be Nebraska, Ohio State. Nebraska traveling to Columbus. Nebraska getting 3.5 on the road. Total of around 144.5. Nebraska finally got their first Big Ten road win last week. Now coming on the road again. Had a big win against Minnesota. They just absolutely just demolished Minnesota in that game. Minnesota, the darlings of the betting world, as they have been the best cover team in the NCAA. And in fact, Minnesota covers last night against one of the better teams in the country in Illinois. Doesn't get the outright win, but keeping it within 11.5 on the spread there makes, and covering the first half as well, makes all the bettors feel better on that one. So, but we do like Nebraska here, and Hoiberg he is a really, really good coach. X's and O's, execution, things of that nature. Hoiberg excels in those areas. Now, can he recruit to a top 5 blue blood school and compete for national championships? I think he can if given the opportunity. He's really never been given the opportunity to do so. To get like a Kansas, a Kentucky, Duke, North Carolina, schools like that. But those jobs don't come open very often. So I don't know if he's going to be able to turn Nebraska into a basketball powerhouse, but every year expect them to be competitive, expect them to be well coached, not to turn the ball over a lot, play solid defense, and be able to put the ball in the basket. So that being said, we did take Nebraska today plus 3.5. We also plus 2 on the first half. We also went money line first half. It was plus 130 on DraftKings. We went money line money line on the game as well, plus 140. I think Nebraska's got a really good chance to win this game here. If they do not turn the ball over a lot, Ohio State struggles to score. Nebraska does not. So we do like Nebraska in this particular spot. Nebraska plus 2 first half, plus 3.5 for the game. Also money line first half, money line for the game as well. Next game up for us, get to it here, is going to be Memphis, East Carolina. This is a fade completely against Memphis on the road. They haven't been fantastic at home lately either, but they have been absolutely just extremely disappointing on the road. I've seen them give away a 20-point lead on the road. I've seen them just get their butt cracked on the road as well. East Carolina is not a powerhouse, but we do expect them to be able to stay in this game, especially with that home crowd. But they're getting somewhere around 3.5 to 4. Total around 143.5 is East Carolina. So we're just going to take East Carolina plus 1.5 first half, plus 4 for the game. One more time, East Carolina plus 1.5 first half, plus 4 for the game. Next game up for us I have to get through quite a few games here. I think we're in the 6 o'clock games. Yep, so 6 o'clock out here in Phoenix, so 8 o'clock Eastern. Stanford at Utah. Utah's played extremely well, even better at home. As most teams do in conference play, they're always going to be a lot tougher at home. Utah's definitely been tough to beat at home. You can ask best teams in the Pac-12 this season on that one there. Stanford, they had a win against Arizona. It was kind of their cream of the crop day, or their best win of the season so far. No danger making the tournament here. Utah, solid team. Look for them to kind of cruise in this game and get a double-digit victory to cover all these numbers that they need to cover for us to win. So Utah -4.5 first half, -8.5 for the game. Utah -4.5 first half, and -8.5 for the game. Next game up, Michigan traveling to Rutgers. Rutgers currently a 6.5 point favorite, or 6.5, 7, depending on where you got it. 137.5 total. I hate to say this because I really like Juwan Howard, but Michigan has turned into an absolute dumpster fire right this season. It's ugly. It's not going to get any better. All they can do is try to recruit for next season. And maybe, I'm sure they're probably looking at a coaching change as well, because Michigan's not going to put up with not being competitive in Big Ten basketball. Rutgers has been good at home. They block a lot of shots. They play decent defense. They do struggle from time to time putting the ball in the basket, but defensively, though, Rutgers is pretty strong here. So we do like Rutgers to, win on this home train here. Rutgers -3.5 first half, -6.5 for the game. One more time, Rutgers -3.5 first half, -6.5 for the game. And then we'll get next game up here. A lot of lower Division I games today, so it's hard to bet them if you don't know a ton about them, so I will say that. But some people do, just to have, you got to have that action on the game, or otherwise why watch it. But this one here, though, Washington State, top 20 team in the country, did beat Arizona at Arizona in Tucson. That was a great win for them. Only a 6.5 point, 7 point favorite against USC. USC is definitely not one of the powerhouses of the Pac-12 so far this season. It's been a struggle for them. They expected, I think, to be quite a bit better here. The Bronny injury really hurt, I think, at the start of the season with his heart issue. They've had other issues going along all season long, but I don't know how you can't play Washington State here. It seems like, I don't want to say a rat to the cheese at this number, but Washington State here should cover and should cruise in this game. So we did take Washington State -3.5 first half, -7 for the game. One more time, Washington State -3.5 first half, -7 for the game. Next game up for us, San Francisco and Gonzaga. San Francisco has played really well this season. Gonzaga's down from where they normally are. Out there with them and, St. Mary's and everything. It's normally between those two. But San Fran's played really well this season. San Fran's a 3.5 point home dog, 152.5 total. We really like San Fran in this area here. It's not that Gonzaga's not good enough to win. They are in this particular scenario, but San Francisco's definitely played the top teams even tougher. They've covered against St. Mary's, and we expect them to get the cover, if not the outright win here tonight. In this game here. So we took San Francisco +1.5 first half, +3.5 for the game. One more time, San Francisco +1.5 first half, and +3.5 for the game. Next game up for us, and the last game on the schedule, St. Mary's going to Pepperdine. Pepperdine 15.5 point home dog, total around 137.5. Now, so we did take Pepperdine in this game, and it's pretty simple. The only reason we took Pepperdine, and there's nothing really else in the matchup, it's St. Mary's has had trouble covering the number on the road. It's not that I don't think St. Mary's will win. We expect them to win, but 15.5 is a big number, especially when traveling on the road. I understand Pepperdine's not the not the cream of the crop out west, but we do expect Pepperdine to maybe keep this within 10. Right around that mark would not surprise us, but 15.5 we just think is way too many points. So we will take Pepperdine +9.5 first half, plus 15.5 for the game. One more time, Pepperdine plus 9.5 first half and plus 15.5 for the game. Now we'll get into that NBA slate. Bucks, Hornets. They just did play the other night in Milwaukee. This game goes to Charlotte. They played this one. This is really simple, folks. If Charlotte will cover this game if they hang in this thing first quarter through the start of the second quarter. We do not expect that to happen in this one at all. Charlotte has basically quit on the season. Miles Bridges, doing Miles Bridges things. It's a shame Brandon Miller's going to have to go through this just absolute crap and just pray and hope that they can put something together for later on in his career, or he's going to be out of there as well. Miles Bridges is gone after this year. He's looking for a new contract, and Charlotte's looking for anybody to please take him off our hands. Melo Ball's been out forever. I don't know if he's coming back at all this season. There's been no mention of it, but we like the Bucks here. I think the Bucks scare me in the playoffs. The Bucks scare me as a double-digit favorite, but eventually, I think a lot of these double-digit favorites, they're going to just cruise because the other teams are going to quit. And that's kind of, not necessarily quit like they're done, but half-hearted effort might be the best way to put it. But we love the Bucks here. In fact, the lines went down. It was at 12. It's down to 11.5. We love it at 12. We love that thing until it gets to about like 14.5. And that's kind of where the cutoff would be. But we will take the Bucks minus 4.5 first quarter, minus 7 first half, minus 12 for the game. Bobby Portis over 14.5 points, and Miles Bridges over 2.5 turnovers. We probably will come back and add some more player props to this game. So I know I mentioned before in the show, do make sure you check out the Google Sheets at the end of every episode, as that'll be a ledger of all of our bets. We're doing this thing 6, 7, 8 hours ahead of time. So unfortunately, they do not have all the player props out yet, like if you were looking at the game in the last hour. So a lot of times we will update those if we do make those bets on there. But we do like Portis again tonight. He had a huge game against them the last time. Kind of expect the same thing. I expect the starters to be sitting a lot, so maybe Portis gets more playing time as well. So one more time, Bucks minus 4.5 first quarter, minus 7 first half, minus 12 for the game. Bobby Portis over 14.5 points, and Bridges over 2.5 turnovers. Next game up, Jazz at the Magic. Magic currently a 6.5 point favorite, 225 total. Magic have played really hard, even without Banchero the last couple. Franz Wagner doing his deal. He seems to be back to pre-injury form before the All-Star break, when he was getting like 32 to 38 par a night, points, assists, rebounds, which is a solid all-around play from Franz. They've gotten some good guard play. Suggs and Cole Anthony seem to play well. Wendell Carter stepped up a little bit this season as well. They've played well. They're deep. They create a lot of points off of turnovers. They create a lot of, they have some length, I think, and create a lot of, get a lot of deflections, bad passing angles for the other team. Their defense just seems to work. Now, the one thing the Jazz do not have, and that's called defense, which helps the Magic, who sometimes struggle to score, I think, even more. You get a couple more three-point shooters, I think, on this team to go with Banchero and Wagner. I think you've really got something cooking there. So, a a guy that can shoot threes and distribute and handle the offense, I think would be a huge help for them. Good point guard that can shoot from distance. That would be like a huge help for them. If we're looking for next season or down the road. But this is a team in the next few years, I think, in the Eastern Conference can start making some noise. They've got a star and an all-star in Banchero. Now, keep building around him is going to kind of be the key. Now, the Jazz, on the other hand, they've got a couple really good young players as well. Keontae George, Colin Sexton, Lauri Markkanen. They seem to have something there to work with. The question is, they do need maybe a superstar, not a superstar, but an all-star type player. I mean, Markkanen's close, but Markkanen would be a great 2, or the best 3 in the league, third guy in the league. He's got, 7-footer that can shoot from distance. He's got range from all over the place. 3-level shooter for sure. He can go to the post, get around the rim. He can also shoot the mid-range and shoot the 3. Colin Sexton, we're running a little bit better with him at the point. Now Keontae George is back. It's been kind of discombobulated, to put it mildly, on there. But it's been they're really good. They were really good at home going into the break. Lost a few games at home. On the road, though, it's been just nothing but a struggle. So we're going to ride with the Magic here today. We do have some Banchero props as well. I assume he's going to play, but just make sure you keep up to date on those as well. So Magic -1.5 first quarter, -3.5 first half, -6.5 for the game. Banchero over 21.5 points, over 6.5 rebounds, and over 34.5 par. And Lauri Markkanen's 3 mark has come down to over 2.5 threes, so 3+ made threes instead of 4, and only -130 at DraftKings. So we're on the Markkanen for 3+ threes. So one more time in this Magic Jazz matchup. Magic -1.5 first quarter, -3.5 first half, -6.5 for the game. Banchero over 21.5 points, over 6.5 rebounds, and over 34.5 par. And Lauri Markkanen for 3+ threes. Next game up is going to be Warriors-Knicks. Warriors 4.5 point favorite going to Madison Square Garden, 222 total. There's still no definitive on Jalen Brunson. He's going to be more of a game time decision on that with the spasms that he's had. He didn't play in the last matchup, and they just got rolled by the Pelicans. If he's not playing again, I expect him to get rolled again. Brunson has to play 40 minutes and put up huge stat line in order for this team to be competitive, since OG Anunoby, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, all those guys being out. So, they're down to, they don't got a lot of guys they can roll with, you know what I mean? So, on that one. The Warriors have been, to put it mildly, okay. They've struggled with either the lineup, guys not contributing, what's Andrew Wiggins doing. Kuminga has been, I think, a pleasant surprise. He has had a couple-week stretch where maybe he didn't, he wasn't doing everything that he possibly could. He had a month before that where he looked like an all-star. Steph Curry, since the break, has been shooting god-awful from 3. Klay Thompson, when he went to the bench, has just been nothing but fire from 3. There wasn't really any Klay Thompson or many Klay Thompson props around. We're going to be searching for those as we get through. But we do like the Warriors here. I think they can cover the 4.5 number even if Brunson plays. But if Brunson doesn't play, I think that line's going to move dramatically. So we'll take our chance there. I think we're still live even if Brunson plays. So Warriors -1.5 first quarter, -2.5 first half, -4.5 for the game. Kuminga over 16.5 points, and he's been at 18.5 for quite some time. So definitely a couple point drop there, even though he went over his point total last time. Brunson over 31.5 points. Like I said, not sure if he's going to play, but if he does, we want to make sure we got that prop in there. Over 2.5 3-pointers made as well for Brunson. Same thing, not sure if he's going to play, but if he does, we want to have that handled. Draymond Green, 1+ 3-pointer made. He's done this. I can't remember the last time he didn't have a 3. And he's been doing it early in games, so this is one of those tickets that's been cashing early as well. So we'll go with that. Plus Draymond over 6.5 rebounds. And then Draymond over 12.5 rebounds plus assists. And that number's down 1. I understand it's the Knicks, and they play a little slower pace, but they also miss a lot more shots. So kind of works hand in hand here. So surprised to see the 12.5 number there. So one more time in this Warriors-Knicks matchup. Warriors -1.5 first quarter, -2.5 first half, -4.5 for the game. Jonathan Kuminga over 16.5 points. Jalen Brunson over 31.5 points and 3+ threes. Draymond Green 1+ 3, over 6.5 rebounds, and over 12.5 rebounds plus assists in that game. Next game up, Hawks at the Knicks. Not the Knicks. How about Hawks at the Nets? Almost a pick'em game here. Nets at home, favored by 1. Right around 222 total. I don't know about you guys, but Trae Young goes out, and he's going to be out at least till April 1st at the earliest, right? All of a sudden, DeJounte Murray seems to flow better. They don't have the Murray maybe at the 2 isn't the best thing in the world. Maybe Trae Young needs to go to the 2 if they try to make this work again with those 2 guys. But Jalen Johnson's kind of taken off here the last few games, which is what they're hoping for. They're even missing some of the depth inside, but they seem to play well. Even though they've been the worst cover team all season, that necessarily hasn't been the case over the last month. The Nets fired Jacques Vaughn. A couple 50-point losses, I guess we'll get that done for you. And they've looked fabulous in one game and looked horrible in the rest. So, I mean, how could you play them as a favorite almost in anything? We can't. I don't assume you can either. So, we'll take the Hawks here. We did grab it at 1.5, but we did take Hawks plus a half first quarter, plus a half first half, plus 1.5 for the game. DeJounte Murray over 22.5 points and 2+ threes, 3+ threes, and 4+ threes. Jalen Johnson, who we like quite a bit, over 16.5 points and over 9.5 rebounds. He's been double-double machine for us here lately. DeJounte Murray, who we went over with the points and the threes, over 36.5 par. We also like Jalen Johnson over 26.5 points plus rebounds. So if he gets to 16.5 or gets to 17 and 10, which is what we need to cover the other 2 bets, he's also going to cover this other one at 26.5. And Saddiq Bey for the Hawks over a half a turnover. I don't know who the Nets are going to put out there. It looks like Cam Thomas might not play. That's probably good news for the Nets, is like the ball stops with him. But we expect the Hawks, we expect a game, I guess, with a lot of shooting in it. The question is everybody going to make shots or not? But Hawks plus a half first quarter, plus a half first half, plus 1.5 for the game. DeJounte Murray over 22.5 points, 2+ threes, 3+ threes, 4+ threes, over 36.5 par. Jalen Johnson over 16.5 points, over 9.5 rebounds, also over 26.5 points plus rebounds. And then we'll also take Saddiq Bey over just to get 1 turnover in that one. Next game up, one of the games this game shouldn't relatively be close, but one of the games we're probably going to spend the most time watching tonight. That's going to be the Thunder going to San Antonio. Thunder 10.5, 11-point favorite. They're one of the best teams in the West versus one of the worst teams in the West. So no question why the spread is where it is. San Antonio's a TV draw because of Wemby. I mean, Wemby has lived up to the hype so far in his rookie season. It's been fantastic. What he can do on the defensive side, nobody else can really do in the league. I mean, nobody else is continually getting 4 to 10 block shots a night like Wemby is. Chet Holmgren's a great rim protector as well, and he's getting 2 to 4, not 4 to 10. Wemby's also getting quite a few steals. He's been putting up good points for the minutes that he's playing. He's still not playing a ton of minutes for the Spurs, but that team is just, that team's god-awful around him. I mean, I'm sorry, Keldon Johnson and, Devin Vassell and stuff like that, but wow, that team is, not fun. Not a lot of fun to watch when Wemby's not on the floor. We'll put it that way. Now, the Thunder, on the other hand, are a ton of fun to watch regardless of who's on the floor. Really come on. SGA is definitely making his case for MVP. Chet Holmgren's, if it wasn't for Wemby, would have been Rookie of the Year in a landslide. Then you've got Jalen Williams, who's played fantastic all season long. You got Dort shooting some threes. Guys off the bench that are doing well. It's just a fun team to watch. They play solid ball, and they attack the hoop at any given moment. So, and that's all the guys can go, attack the hoop. It's just not standing around and shoot a bunch of threes. Now, they do shoot a bunch of threes, and SGA's actually been shooting threes here lately as well, but they attack the hoop with ferocity. So, it should be a really good one here, and should be, I think, a lot of block shots, to be really honest, because both teams like to take it to the rack. So, we do like the Thunder here, as we have most of the season, as they've been a cover machine. But we will take the Thunder minus 3.5 first quarter, minus 6.5 first half, minus 11 for the game. And we have a ton of player props in this one, so let's get to those. Chet Holmgren over 16.5 points. He's hit this number every time after the All-Star break. Over 1.5 threes. He finally did not have 2 threes in a game in the last game out, but we expect him to keep firing those up. Holmgren over 27.5 par. We'll also take Holmgren 3+ blocks, 4+ blocks, and 5+ blocks as well. It was plus 700 for 5+ blocks on FanDuel. We also like Holmgren over 1.5 turnovers. SGA 2+3s and 3+3s. Now these numbers have came way down since where they were at in his last game when he hit 4 threes. 2+3s is barely plus money now. When it's been +1, probably 145 to 180 all season long. But he's started taking a lot more threes. He can make the three ball. I think he just feels a lot more confident driving it to the hoop. But with Wemby protecting the rim in there tonight, I expect him probably to shoot a few more three-pointers in this one. And then we like Wembanyama, of course, a lot in this game as well. Over 22.5 points, over 37.5 par, 4+ blocks, 5+ blocks, over 4.5 stocks or steals plus blocks, and over 3.5 turnovers. So one more time in this Thunder-Spurs game, Thunder -3.5 first quarter, -6.5 first half, -11 for the game. Holmgren over 16.5 points, over 1.5 threes, over 27.5 par, 3+ blocks, 4+ blocks, and 5+ blocks. We're also going to take Holmgren over 1.5 turnovers. SGA for 2+ threes and 3+ threes. Wemby over 22.5 points, over 1.5 threes, over 37.5 par, 4+ blocks, 5+ blocks, over 4.5 stocks, steals plus blocks, and over 3.5 turnovers. Next game up, Rockets, Suns. Suns at home. Rockets have been really good with the number at home, not so much against the road. The Suns have struggled at home a little bit. They're starting to play a little bit better. Don't know if Bradley Beal's going to back. Doesn't look like it. But the Suns have enough firepower here, not only to win, but to cover this game. Even with just Durant and Booker, they've got enough here to win by double digits in this game. If they don't win by double digits, then there's the issue. All of a sudden they come out poor, or they come out red hot through the middle of the third quarter and then can't figure out how to make a basket when they don't play fantastic defense. So you have to continually score, and that's what happens a lot of times. They either get out really hot and then they hit a scoring lull, and all of a sudden the other team's catching up because they can't score, or they start off cold and then catch fire later. Efficiency-wise, they're one of the top teams in the NBA, offensive efficiency-wise. The question is going to be the defense. That's going to be a question going into the playoffs, and health, making sure that they're healthy enough as well. But the Suns have been a difficult bet. The book ranks them higher than what probably they are due to the big three. So their point totals, I think, is always going to be a little inflated, and you want to take them because they can score 140, 150 points without blinking, but then, they have cold shooting nights as well. So, but we will take the Suns here. We do like the Suns -2.5 first quarter, -5 first half, -8.5 for the game. Devin Booker over 27.5 points. We'll also play Booker 30+ points and 35+ points. Booker 3+ threes. And then we're going to take Sengun under 10.5 rebounds, under 35.5 par, and over 2.5 turnovers. So one more time in this Suns-Rockets matchup. Suns -2.5 first quarter, -5 first half, -8.5 for the game. Booker over 27.5 points, 30+ points, 35+ points, 3+ threes. Sengun for the Rockets under 10.5 rebounds, under 35.5 par, and over 2.5 turnovers. Next game up on the schedule, Heat at the Nuggets. Heat coming up. I don't know. The Nuggets get a win against the Kings. They finally beat the Kings. They had lost 3 games to them previously. I don't know if they're making the move as much as the Kings are going backwards. De'Aaron Fox, who wasn't on the injury report, all of a sudden was a scratch last night. I don't quite understand that one, especially against a Western Conference opponent. And you need that game. But the Nuggets 4.5-point favorite against the Heat. But who the hell is going to play for the Heat? Looks like Jimmy Butler and Adebayo are about the 2 guys that you can count on. Not sure who the hell else is going to play. We're staying away from the side and the total. And there wasn't a ton of player props available, but there are a few that we're interested in. Jokic over 46.5 par. And I expect that number to go up as we get closer to game time. I was surprised 46.5 was available. I figured it'd be closer to 48.5 on that one. Then we've got Jokic over 12.5 rebounds, which seems to be his consistent number at 12.5. And then over 3.5 turnovers. He's been turning the ball over 3 times a game. So that 2.5 was getting smashed, I guess, a little bit too much. So now over 3.5. But Jokic over 46.5 par, over 12.5 rebounds, and over 3.5 turnovers in that Nuggets Heat game. Last game of the night, Lakers going on a back-to-back here against the Wizards. The good news is on the second half of the back-to-back, I guess, they catch the Wizards. They come back from 20 points down in the fourth quarter. Last night, LeBron James was shooting out of his mind. I don't know if I've ever seen LeBron shoot three-pointers that well. It was incredible. Anthony Davis played like a turd again. Thank you, AD, for costing us a boatload of money. On your player props, somehow you only put up 20 points against a defense where nobody is taller than 6'8". So explain that one to me, please. There's no player props out on the game, realistically, besides a few Wizards props that we weren't really interested in. We do like the Lakers here, so we're going to take them before this line gets to double digits. But Lakers minus 2.5 first quarter, minus 5 first half, and minus 9 for the game. One more time, Lakers minus 2.5 first quarter, minus 5 first half, and minus 9 for the game. We will be, I'm sure, adding some player props to that one there once more stuff comes out on who's playing and all that kind of good stuff there. So do make sure you check out the Google Sheets. We mentioned it before in this show. At the end, every end of the show, we do, in the comment section, there will be a link there to the Google Sheet. It'll say docs.google.spreadsheet, a bunch of other stuff behind it. It is a link to a ledger of all of our bets. And then there's also all the sports that we bet. So we have football from 22 to 23 if you wanted to look through any of those results. Baseball from 23, all there. Football, 23, 24, all the results there. And then, of course, basketball, which we just went over all the bets we have so far today. Also, baseball futures, if you're into baseball. 24 baseball's right around the corner. And then also we've got golf, Formula One, all that kind of fun stuff going on as well. So we have a separate tab for that. So you can check out all the bets at all the places. We had a bad week in golf and UFC, so that's the only sheet that we're down money in right now, are the only area, and it's not really that much compared to what we've bankrolled so far, especially just through basketball. So a lot of opportunities for a lot of different sports to lay wagers on. So we just lay out exactly what we bet on, give those to you. Hopefully you match those up with your bets, and that'll give you that ton of confidence you need heading to the betting app or betting window. And as always, if you can subscribe and get notifications to our YouTube channel, so when we drop an episode of bets, you get those first. Makes life really simple once you hit that subscribe button. Turn notifications on for YouTube. You'll get a notification to your phone or device to let you know Sports Bets for Free has dropped an episode of new bets. So you can check those out and match them up with yours. I do appreciate everybody's support as always, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.